I think one of the big differences between what radio DJs and people that have websites and blogs for that matter are doing and have been doing for a while, and what we were doing is that we weren't really doing anything. I mean, sure, we wanted the credit, but the real reason for what we were doing was really based on what we loved and a desire to share that and to spread dope. I mean, Sway says in the movie, he says, we want to know what you guys are doing, because, you know, if someone's dope but only appeals to 50 people, dope should be heard. And that was, you know, that's what we were about. Now, you know, granted, like early on in the show, I'd play music for 60 minutes or longer without having any kind of mic break, any kind of identification. And when we found out that people were then taking these chunks of music and then selling them as mixtapes or claiming them their own, we realized we needed to put our stamp on it, you know, because you want credit.
It's kind of like how if someone posts right now in a blog and then like it gets reblogged, like in our era, Stretch would play songs and people would like get tapes of that and like, you know, reblog it on their radio show
without giving the credit.
Without giving the credit, you know, when you get reblog, it's like, you know, shared from such and such site where people were taking like our radio show and just replaying it in Houston and Boston and the West Coast. I mean,
and selling mixtapes.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think that's a stark difference between what I feel like a lot of what people are doing is about. It's about them and getting the eyes on their page and just, you know, bigging themselves up and you know, for us, the accolades and the recognition came naturally. It was never, you know, our radio show was never a platform to get someplace else. It was the end result. It's what we wanted. We didn't have any ambitions for the show other than, like Bob always says, other than to have an incredible tape the next day. But I think that it's such a played out word, curation. I guess that's what we were doing, but really the show was an expression of our taste, of, you know, it was, yo, this is what we're into and we're having fun. It really wasn't, if anyone said to us, oh, you're curating a hip hop show, we'd be like, what are you talking about?
It's only really in retrospect that people have that perspective that we were curating. I also think that we didn't really pay any mind. I mean, if an artist who was unsigned got on our show and wound up getting a record deal and selling a lot of records, we applauded it. We were super happy for them, especially for those who were like friends of ours and who would come to the show repeatedly. But on the same token, we didn't exist for that. You know, if it happened, great, but if it didn't happen, you know, the other thing too is that, you know, we had 4 hours of non-commercial music every single week, which at that point in New York was unheard of. You know, most of the shows were like 2 hours. If they were on commercial radio, they had to, you know, have mic breaks. They had station IDs at the top of the hour. We didn't have any of that. You know, like Stretch said, we played music for 90 minutes and we wouldn't do a mic break, which was against FCC regulations. Once the internet came on and like if someone played a song, it was immediately on, it was just in the ether. Okay, it's out there, it's like, whereas Stretch played a song, if he might be like, yo, I'm gonna play it once and that's it, you know? And if you didn't catch it, that was it. You had to hope that one of your boys taped it or one of your homegirls taped it. And so there was a different draw to tuning in, a different attraction, a different level of effort as well. And I think that's what endeared our show to our listeners. And that's a stark difference to what's out there now, where it's like it's accessible, it's available. You know, you missed the show, you could listen to the stream or listen to the archive. You know?
At any time.
At any time, yeah.
Google it and you're there.
So. I used the first Swiss beat. For anybody that don't know, I was the first one to ever use a Swiss beat on the first Lox album, All for the Love. That's the first Swiss beat ever known to the world.
The guy that drew that is the guy that was gonna be my MC. And it's at KRS-One on the thing. So KRS first affiliation with Boogie Down Productions that I can see is that.
Many memorable moments working with Heavy D, many. Like, I mean, we go back before making records. It's crazy, you know. I think about him every day. I dream about him. And you know, we he actually took me under his wing. You know, made people realize that I was talented. You know, he bragged about me to people.
No, I think this was like maybe 10 years later. I don't know the exact span of time. His kid comes back with an embossed plate of food with Flavor's bite out of it to get signed. The plate hangs on a rope.